How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to make another video since I haven't made one in a long time and I'm in quarantine, so I have nothing else to do. Today we're discussing the top 9 things that we are probably going to see in Forza Motorsport 8. I already made a similar video to this, but that was more of a wish list. This is more realistic. And some of these are in fact confirmed. So let's go on to the number 1 topic. Oh my gosh. Number 1, Formula 1 cars. I already know what you guys are going to say. But Robo, there already are Formula 1 cars in Forza. You're driving one right now. Yes, but how many of them are modern? 1. In the single car thing. 1. Even in Forza Motorsport 7, there's only 1. It's a Renault RS17, the 2017 version. And then in FM5 and FM6, all there was the Lotus E23, which is what I'm driving right now. So in all of these games, there's only been a single F1 car. I think we need more. I mean, at least we have one F1 car, right? Which is good, but I think it'd be better if there were more, because we could have more competitive races, and not just races with the same car driving past you over and over again. Right now, Forza has licensing agreements with 5 companies that are or were in Formula 1. Lotus, Renault, Mercedes-Benz, Ferrari, and McLaren. I think if a Formula 1 car does get in Forza, it's gonna be the Renault RS 2017 again. But the least likely one, I have to say, is going to be the Mercedes, because there's never been a Mercedes Formula 1 car in any of the Forza games, while there has with McLaren and Ferrari and Lotus. So it'd be nice if they could have like at least the Lotus E23 and the Renault RS17 and like a Ferrari or a McLaren. Okay, now for number 2, overall leaderboards. We haven't seen overall leaderboards since Forza Motorsport 4. When you go to the leaderboards on Forza Motorsport 6, per se, like I am right now, all there is it says top scores, but it's only X class. There's not overall leaderboards. Overall leaderboards would bring a sense of more competitiveness to the games. Because a lot of people, if you want someone to put 1,000+ hours in your game, overall leaderboards is how you do it, because they're always striving to get better and to get to the top of that leaderboard, especially when it's overall. Number 3, class racing. In Forza Motorsport 7, they took away the class racing that has been there for like since the game started. Instead, when you enter a lobby, it bases your car with other people with similar specs to your car, not just by a class where all of the cars have to be like, say, an A class. When they took this away, everyone was really upset, and I bet they will add it back this next game. Horizon Base Arena. Number 4, better drafting and better mechanics. Chris Ayaki, the director of Turn 10 Games in Forza, said this himself in a monthly Forza stream. That he let slip that they were working on better suspension and better drafting, a better tire pressure model, and other stuff that has to do with handling and dynamic heat and everything. This is really good because in real life, drafting helps you a lot more than it does in Forza. In Forza, drafting, it like may speed you up like a single mile per hour. Like, it doesn't even help your acceleration that much. But it in real life, it can mean the difference between winning a race and losing a race. Like, just look at some of these close finishes in NASCAR. The person wins because they're behind the person in the lead. They are drafting, so they can get that speed, and then they pass them. You can't do that in Forza unless your car has more horsepower than they are and lighter than they are. So this will be a great change, and it will bring way better drafting for everything. And it will change multiplayer races a lot. Number 5, quality over quantity and more race cars. Currently, in the Forza series, there are like 700 plus cars per game, which is a lot. That, I'd say, the mass amount of cars are one of Forza's strengths. But then again, some of these cars, do we really need an SUV on a simulator game with tracks, with no dirt tracks? I mean, if there are dirt tracks, it makes more sense. But unless the SUV is like something along the lines of an Urus or the Bentley one that I forgot the name of just now, and they're like relatively fast, we really don't need it. Like the Toyota Tundra, yes, it would be nice to see a Toyota in the game, but we don't need the Tundra or like that giant Dodge that was in Forza Motorsport 5. I forgot what it was called, but it was huge, and we didn't need that, or the Rally Raid. We didn't need those cars. But I feel like we're also going to see a lot more race cars, such as Formula 1 cars, as I said in the last thing, and also GT sport cars, and those endurance cars, like the Porsche Flying Lizard, or the Audi Flying Lizard. I feel like we're going to see more modern cars of those, because they only added 3 new cars in Forza Motorsport 7 of that type of racing. And I really personally love that type of racing. One of my favorite lobbies in Forza Motorsport 6 is the endurance lobby. They have like 30-minute races in those cars. That Aston Martin is really fast. You should keep that in the game. But it needs some more competition though, because it's the only car people use besides that other BMW I forgot the name of. Number 6, dynamic weather and time. Surprisingly, Forza doesn't have dynamic time. If you start a race in the morning, it will be in the morning that whole time. It will not change. Even if you do an endurance race, it will stay the same weather, and well, it won't always stay the same weather. I think sometimes some of them change, like with fog, but the daytime doesn't change. I think it'd be cool if a lot of people think it'd be cool. In fact, they're probably adding this. I mean, Forza Horizon already has dynamic weather and time, and it just needed like a few tweaks to add it into the game. They already have weather such as night and rain on most of their tracks, I think, now. So it'd be nice if they could add it where it changes. Like you could set it to a tick speed to, like in the settings of the race, where you can like choose how many people you want or whatever. You could set a tick speed to how fast the time goes. Like 100 tick speed, the time would go like super fast, like faster than Horizon. And then like 1 tick speed, it'd be like a normal day or something, like a real life day. That would be really nice. I think Gran Turismo already has that, which, yeah, if Gran Turismo has it, Forza, you should have it, because you're supposed to be better than them. Number 7, the return of Toyota and Mitsubishi. Everyone was surprised when they opened up Forza Horizon 4 and they went to get their beloved Supra or their favorite generation of Evo, but neither were there. Although they did return eventually, which I think means that they will return in Forza Motorsport 8. Toyota once said on like one of their Instagram accounts or whatever that Toyota disbanded the partnership with many video games because of its relation with street racing. I mean, I could see that with Need for Speed or maybe The Crew and maybe the Horizon series. But Toyota wasn't even in Forza Motorsport 7, which is on closed tracks. And also, later that month, someone posted a spy shot of a brand new 2020 Toyota Supra being unloaded at a Fast and Furious movie scene. What do you mean, street racing? I mean, eventually they realized that it's not that bad because they added them back. And they're coming out with their 4th car this month. If I'm not mistaken, it's a 3rd-gen Supra. But they've already come out with the true new 86 in Forza Horizon 4. I think this is the 96 Supra RZ. And then the Toyota 2000 GT. And then Mitsubishi, like, way before Toyota, they realized their mistake. And they came out with a free car pack with, like, 9 cars, including, like, the Eclipse, a bunch of Evos, and the Gallant. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I'm talking about. So, I have a feeling that we will see return of Toyota. And if we don't, everyone's going to be very disappointed because that's a lot of people's favorite cars. And also, the new Supra, I think Gazoo Racing, Toyota's racing department, they just came out with a racing version of it. And it looks really cool. And I really want that to be in the new game under the Endurance GT cars that I talked about earlier, or whatever they're called. Number 8, building cars over buying cars. Now, what does that mean? In most Forza games, the cars never came free. You had to buy them. So instead of building up one car, many people would just use their credits to buy new cars because they wanted to experience most cars in the game. But I feel, in fact, many people have been talking about this. There have been rumors strongly associated with every car being available to you when you start the game. I personally don't like this that much, but I mean, if they brought back the auction house into the games, I don't know if that's in Forza Motorsport 7 or not actually, but it's not in 6 or 5. But if they brought the auction house back to the games, or gifting cars, I think that would compensate for having every car free. Because personally, I don't like having every car free. I don't find it as much as a challenge, and I feel like the garage would just be overflowing with everything. And everyone would have the same cars. Nothing would be that impressive. And yeah, but I think it's still a good idea to have building one car up over buying a bunch of them. Like, they're trying to make it so you have more experience with, like, a small group of cars than driving every single car in the game. And you bond with your car instead of just having a bunch of cars and you don't know which one to drive and they're not that special anymore. Now it's time for number 9, the last one. And this one's huge, like really big. But first, the honorable mention, which is better tuning. I don't know if this is gonna actually be implemented in the game since the tuning has been basically the same since Forza Motorsport 2, and it's not that bad, so I don't feel like they have a need to change it. But some people feel like it could be more complex with more options. So that's I'm gonna give that the honorable mention. And also I don't want this to be a top 10, so I'm gonna make it a top 9 instead. Okay, now for number 9. New tracks and old tracks being added. Forza Turn 10 has mentioned themselves about a new program that they've gotten that has made it easier to upload tracks into the game. They called it like a track scanner or something. So that means they found it's cheaper, so they can easily implement new tracks into the game, and it's faster, which means they can do it quickly, which means they can get more tracks done. And along with their partnership of, it's not the Sports Car Club in America, it's the other one, it's the IMSA or whatever, but along with their partnership, they could add a lot new tracks. One track that I want to see, well, two tracks that I actually really want to see, is the one where they do the 24 Hours of Lemons. Not Le Mans, but the 24 Hours of Lemons. It's a race in Seattle that they do on a track. I forgot the name of the track, but it's not in Forza. And I think it'd be really cool to create a 24 Hours of Lemons. Also, the other track, which I'm surprised this track isn't in the game actually, Monaco. It's one of the most famous Formula 1 tracks, and I'm surprised it's not in the game because it's super iconic and dangerous, but it's super iconic, and it's got some nice turns like that, really fun races, and really dangerous races, which means fun, sort of, if you're that kind of person. Also, they've mentioned Forza lore tracks, as they're dubbing them now, which is like tracks such as Switzerland, Prague, Rio, and the new Dubai one. They're dubbed Forza lore tracks because they're not actually real. But they mentioned that when they were playing their version of the game that they already have up and running, that the director of Turn 10, Chris Asaki, I probably butchered that. Or is it Steve Asaki? I don't remember. But he mentioned that they were racing on Maple Valley, which is a Forza lore track from Forza Motorsport 4 that a lot of people loved. So they're probably, chances are, that's one's confirmed, Maple Valley. But chances are they'll bring back other Forza lore tracks from the other game, like Fujiyama's, which was a super fun drift track that it was one of my favorites. I drove that thing with the Eagle Talon, which is sort of a weird choice of car for that, but I liked the Eagle Talon when I was playing like Motorsport 2 or whatever it was. I don't know, I was really little back then. But that would be great to see the return of those tracks. And there was another one that I forgot the name of. There was a bunch of them actually, and they were all a lot of fun. And yeah. Also, Forza should probably take a leaf out of Gran Turismo's book. This is like the second time I've said that. And add a track with super long straights. It's like Highway X in Gran Turismo. I think that's what it's called. But it's a super long track. Instead of going to Le Mans to test out your car's top speed, you would go to Highway X. It had like an 11-kilometer straight road, and part of it was downhill, so you would exceed your car's top speed, and then it had this one giant banked corner. A really cool track. And so that's about all. I hope you liked the video. Comment down below which one you want to see in Forza the most, and any of these designs that you liked on any of these cars that you saw today in the video. You can go download them. Just put my gamer tag in for the paint scheme for Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon 4. I don't know if they're in the Motorsport games. I don't know if it transfers over like that. But, yeah. That's all. See you guys later. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Goodbye.